click. And I leave Sadia to do the main introduction.
Welcome to World Futures Day Young Voices 2025. This session is brought to you by Teach the Future, a global nonprofit dedicated to embedding futures literacy in education worldwide. World Futures Day is a partnership with the Millennium Project. Right now, we are all part of a 24-hour global conversation about our futures, creating a space where all generations, especially young voices, can share their visions, concerns, and action-driven projects towards a better future. This will be streamed on YouTube, so let's make this conversation count. Share your thoughts and join the global discussion using the hashtag WFDYV. Facilitators, take it away.
Hello, myself Rokul Islam, and we have two more co-facilitators. So Janab and Javiria, can you just introduce yourself? Then we can start our presentation.
Okay, hi, my name is Zainab Abu Bakr. I'm from Pakistan. I'm 16 years old, currently in high school. I have to give my O-level exam soon. I have business commerce subjects. I'm an environment enthusiast. And me and Javeria are actually part of an organization called Mission Green Global. She's the chapter lead of Sindh, Pakistan, and I'm the finance lead. So you can see that we're pretty concerned about our future. Thank you for Teach the Future for having me today. And special thank you to Sadia for introducing me to Teach the Future. Javeria, please take it away.
Hello, everybody. I'm a grade 11 student in Pakistan, passionate about AI and environment sustainability as the Sindh chapter lead for Mission Green Global, as Zainab mentioned it already. I work on eco-friendly initiatives and climate awareness. I am also developing an AI project focused on tackling social challenges. I believe AI and sustainability can create an impactful solutions, and I look forward to collaborating and learning in this discussion.
Okay, great, thank you. So I just start my presentation here. So let me just share my screen first. So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fine. So it was just short intro from me. So myself, Mohammad Islam. I'm from Bangladesh, and currently I'm working in BRAC education program. There I actually oversee the capacity development and planning unit. I don't know how many of you really know about BRAC. It's number one NGO in the world, and we actually run world largest non-formal education from BRAC education program. So there I actually oversee the training department and the planning unit. I also completed my honors from University of Dhaka and completed my master's in development studies and in education. So this from me, and welcome to our presentation. And for this presentation, I actually want to cooperate from you all. Because we'll go for some quizzes and some reflections. So I really request you to whenever the situation comes, you just can quickly write in the chat box so that we can actually see that, and actually based on this we will continue our conversation. So before going anywhere, we'll start with these beautiful roundy things. So this is our world. So we actually know this is our planet, Mother Earth. But do you know how many years it's actually living and rotating like this? You just can start with the chat box. We can have the chat box and we can go with the age of the Earth first. Just a random guess, anything you want. Anyone? What is the age of the Earth? Just a wild random guess. 4 billion. Okay, so yeah, it's actually close. We are 4.6 billion years old. So this is the history of the Earth preserved within the Earth. It's 4.6 billion years. So it's really like a huge amount of time. So we'll go for a really quick quiz time. So this is my first question, and it would be really helpful if you just answer A, B, C, or D in the chat box. So first question is, which of these events caused Earth's largest mass extinction? So we all know that Earth undergoes several mass extinction in the 4.6 billion years history. So what is the cause? The volcanic eruption, asteroid impact, human activity, or alien invention? So it's B, asteroid impact, A, uh, uh, A, volcanic eruption. Okay, fine. A lot of these. And yes, it's the volcanic eruption. Because due to volcanic eruption, 90% of the species actually extinct before the dinosaur age. So we actually undergo fifth mass extinction, and volcanic eruption was one of the major event that actually wiped out 90% of the population from Earth. So now the second one is, how much did Earth's temperature change after the asteroid wiped out the dinosaur? So okay, so we all know the most common hypothesis is an asteroid hit the Earth and erupt the dinosaur. So what was the temperature effect? Temperature means how much it brings change the temperature for the asteroid effect. Anyone want to answer it? A, B, C, D. Okay, B minus 15, A plus 10, plus 10. Okay, lot of A's. Now the answer is it's actually B, it's minus 15. Because due to the asteroid impact, there was a massive dust around the temperature that actually restrict the sunlight to bring into the earth. So that's why the temperature drastically fall, and including dinosaur, all the other animal actually impacted, including the planet, and it was a really massive destruction. So it's it's the third one. So the question is, which period had higher CO2 level than today? So we are actually very much aware of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere, but uh, we are not asked. There is a more than carbon dioxide level in different age periods. So which was the higher? Any guess? A, B, C, or D? Jurassic, Ice Age, present day, or future? Anyone want to answer? Just random guesses. B, D, okay, C. There are so many variations there. Okay, let's see. So it's the Jurassic age that was the very high amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So we are not still at the limit, but the way we are progressing, I think it's not far away that we might reach the CO2 level during the Jurassic period. So that was very interesting quizzes. The quiz was there just to like get to know that it's not us who is dealing with the carbon dioxide, mass extinction, temperature, etc. Because Earth has a very large history, and in different times it actually undergoes different events that actually shape the Earth we are having today. So that's from the quiz side. So now this is our Earth. The temperature actually goes up, goes down due to ices and everything else. We actually watched 6 ice ages, and it's kind of normal that the Earth undergoes very different kind of natural calamities. But in the past, the biggest driver was volcanic eruption, ocean circulation, asteroid impact, and now when we are actually dominating the Earth, we are actually speeding up the climate. So now the phenomena are more frequent, and the extension of the are very mass. So if the mass extinction actually wiped out due to natural disaster in the previous. Now we are the fifth was done. Now we are waiting for the sixth one, and the way we are actually exploiting our climate, it's actually 1,000 times faster than the natural extinction rate. So this is the mass like the frequency is really high due to the human activities. So climate change was always exist there, but today the rate is very unnatural and it's very dangerous. So back then in the history, there was volcanic eruption, but now it's fossil fuel burning. There was solar activity. Now we are deforestation. There was ocean circulation. Now we are polluting the industry. So so the climate change phenomenon is natural, but we are accelerating the whole thing dangerously. And the CO2 level is actually fluctuating, and in the past, it was the massive scale and speed. So these are the three diagrams that actually predicts how our climate will react in 2050. So you can see it's like after 1950 it took a very high turn, and if the trend continues, we can see that the CO2 level it will be go to 550 ppm, where in 1950 it was only a 375. So it will be like double from the 1950. We can see there are sea level, and in 1950 it was only like 30 centimeter. But if it continues like that, by 2050 will go up to 230. You can also see the temperature, because we know 1 degree change in temperature actually like create a natural phenomena that we are actually having the cold wave, the heat wave, the unnatural flood and everything. But if it continues like that, by 2050, it will be raised up to 3 degrees. That will actually create a mass level of destruction. So so our activity, it actually predict that we are actually fostering the six mass extinction, like the deforestation for agriculture, urbanization, and industries destroying our ecosystem, plastic pollution that never happened in the now it's a very common and alarming phenomena, and it's actually like polluting our ocean. Like 1 million species are at risk of extinction. Some have got extinct in last 50 years. The food security, migration, water storage, they will actually define our future. And extreme heat waves, flood, hurricanes are very common phenomena in our current world. So if we don't act now, we'll actually repeat the past mass extinction, and maybe this time we also get extinct if we continue to pollute and erupt Earth like this. So are we too late? I don't know. Or we can actually still can act. AI, technology, and innovation after solution, but are they enough? We actually don't know. My co-facilitator will now guide you in the future. I actually present you how in past Earth acted and how now we are actually acting. So future is our ahead. So I would like to invite Zainab and Zaviria for the next part of the presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. That was an amazing presentation. Let me just share my screen to display my slides.
Yes.
Okay, so we've already covered the past to present transition. So now let's move on towards AI and climate change. So as you all know, AI and climate change are two of the most important issues facing the world today. AI kind of being a helpful solution, but still it's a major problem that's ongoing. But what if we combine the two together? Would it solve our problems or would it worsen them? Okay, let's see. So I'll just dive into some potential ways that AI can be used to address climate change. Let's start with first developing new clean energy technologies. AI is actually can be used to design new and more efficient solar panels, wind turbines, and other clean energy technologies, including renewable resources. So, for example, it can develop machine learning-based solutions that can even detect the slightest blade misalignments and report back to the extent and direction for immediate correction, which can really save us a lot of time and energy and solve a lot of issues. It can also be used in intelligent wind farms as it can connect it can coordinate the turbine movements of an entire array to function in unison rather than solo units. This can help minimize the flow of turbulent air through the array and maximize power generation capabilities. It is also useful for production forecasting, which allows operators to increase underperforming asset revenues. AI can also help us in weather forecasting. So it can identify historical data patterns, like we just saw different patterns in the past. So AI can actually analyze them in deeper cuts and can develop proper patterns, and you can use it to predict temperature changes, rainfall, and storms. Some site-specific prediction methods and models like the one developed by Google, it's called DeepMind. It can analyze vast amounts of data to be nowcast intermittent weather patterns unfolding in the next few hours. So it's pretty useful because it can tell us about future weather predictions, kind of the apps that we all use to see the next day's weather. And yeah. So AI can also be used to help us in optimizing energy usage. It can be used to develop smart grids. Smart grids, basically, they compile different, they're a network that combine different energy places like power plants and wind turbines connected to solar panels and stuff. So it can help optimize use in real time, reducing waste and emissions. It can predict consumption patterns based on several variables. Like these several variables like consumption patterns and how much energy are each power plant taking up. It can help predict these patterns and can warn us about future consumptions, and we will have a better idea on how to optimize our energy usage. This is an example of a smart grid. It can connect different wind generators, nuclear power plants, thermal power plants, cities and different buildings, factories, homes. So it's pretty useful in that sense, and connecting it with AI, it can be really beneficial for us. So AI can also be used to predict and mitigate climate disasters. It can be used to develop early warning systems for extreme weather events, helping communities to prepare and evacuate. It can monitor and analyze iceberg and glacial movements as well in real time over a long period. And for example, scientists at the University of Leeds have reported their AI can map large Antarctic icebergs in satellite images in just 1/100th of a second. It can also help in monitoring deforestation and illegal logging, climate risk assessment and adaptation planning, and NGOs like Rescue Global leverage AI to simulate flooding events, which helps them strategize evacuations and implement effective flood defenses. By using AI to model potential flood scenarios, these organizations can plan and execute more precise and effective interventions, reducing potential damage and saving lives. So this way, AI can also give us further warnings and can warn us before any disasters are happening. Like the LA wildfires that took place were a really concerning event. So AI can use these kind of events to warn us before it happens, so we have a better idea and we can save many lives by evacuating the area. So this is an analysis of the past to present. As you can see, in the past from the 1880s to like 1960s, the temperatures were pretty low and pretty under control. But after 1960, 1980 onwards, they're skyrocketing, which is really concerning. We are more concerned with the future part right now, because if we do not do something right now, this will get much, much worse. As you can see over here, it can lead to really high emissions, and by 2100, it's going to be really bad. So these increases in average global temperatures are expected to be within the range of 0.5 degree Fahrenheit to 8.6 degree Fahrenheit by 2100. And this is really concerning. So that's why combining it with AI is going to be really useful for us. So AI can also be used to monitor deforestation and other environmental damage. Monitoring deforestation and illegal logging can be done, like the Space Intelligence based in Edinburgh, Scotland. It uses computer vision across 30 countries and has mapped more than 1 million hectares of land from space using satellite data. This can really allow us to analyze satellite images and other data to track deforestation and other forms of environmental damage. It can allow us to further be aware of what kind of situation we're in right now and what needs to be done to prevent further events like this happening in the future. AI-driven climate modeling is also something really interesting that we can implement. It can enhance our ability to predict long-term climate patterns and assess policy effectiveness. AI can optimize supply chains and transposition, reduce emissions and waste. Like you can see in factories, there's been loads of carbon emissions, and we really need to reduce these if we want to work towards a sustainable future. So AI can help predict more climate patterns, and it will allow us to take better care of it in the future. So aside from all these advantages and benefits we stand to gain from artificial intelligence, we must not ignore its threats and the danger it poses. So AI might sound all great, but then it has lots of side effects that we must dive into. So over to Javeria.
Thank you so much, Zainab. Let me just connect it. Let me just share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the potential risks of artificial intelligence. First and foremost is artificial intelligence has the potential to revolutionize industries, but it also introduces significant security risks. One of the major concerns is the possibility of AI being used to develop cyber attack systems targeting critical infrastructure such as power plants, water supply networks, and communication systems. These AI-driven threats could exploit vulnerabilities in security protocols, leading to large-scale disruptions and even endangering lives. To mitigate these risks, it is crucial to implement robust cybersecurity measures, including AI-powered threat detection, strict regulatory policies, and continuous monitoring of critical systems. Next up, we have the carbon footprint of AI. The carbon footprint of AI, particularly large models that require massive computational power, um, is a growing concern too. Training, running these models consumes significant energy, often relying on data centers powered by fossil fuels, which are a threat to the environment if you burn them too much because they are a non-renewable energy resource. To address this, it is essential to develop more energy efficient AI architectures which use renewable energy resources for data centers and optimize algorithms to reduce unnecessary computations. After this, the third point is high energy consumptions training AI models. Large AI models require vast amount of computational power during training, often using energy-intensive data centers. These centers consume significant electricity, much of which comes from non-renewable resources, as I stated above, fossil fuels, and contributing to carbon emissions. and then these contribute to carbon emissions. As AI models grow in complexity and their environment impact increases, making it essential to find sustainable solutions like energy efficient algorithms and renewable powered data centers. The last point is running AI applications. Even after training, AI models continue to require energy for inference, processing, and responding to inputs in real time. This ongoing energy demand accumulates over the time, especially in widely used applications like chatbots, recommendation systems, and autonomous systems. Optimizing AI models for efficiency and reducing unnecessary computations can help minimize their long-term carbon footprint. So, how many of you guys use ChatGPT or Gemini or AIs like that every day in your life? Just answer that. Okay. Yeah, me too. My day never passes without using ChatGPT. Like, it's my savior. Okay. After this, we have a carbon footprint of data centers, fossil fuel dependency. Many data centers still rely on energy which is generated from fossil fuel, leading to high emissions and leading to high carbon dioxide emissions. And then water usage for cooling AI-driven data centers require a lot of water to cool their system, which can strain local water resources. As I'm living in Pakistan, I can tell you that in short, this means that it's going to make use of already short natural resources, and it's going to harm the environment even more because it might damage the resources, natural resources which are like already short, making it a negative impact for the future generations. Okay, after this, we have ethical and governance risk, AI for greenwashing. Some companies may misuse AI-generated reports to exaggerate or fabricate their sustainability efforts, a practice known as greenwashing. By presenting misleading environmental data, businesses can falsely appear eco-friendly without making real efforts to reduce their carbon footprint. This undermines genuine sustainability initiatives and misleads consumers and regulators. So basically, this means that many companies, like in our surroundings as well, are like um, doing false, like they're showing themselves that they're eco-friendly and they're supporting environment. However, in reality, they're not. And this also negatively impacts those companies. Like people start losing their trust when they find out that they are not eco-friendly, and they use them thinking that they're eco-friendly and that is going to help the earth and they're helping in sustainability. So it also makes a harmful impact for the companies which are actually sustainable, and it just loses the customers trust. Yeah. So to prevent this, transparency in AI generated reports and independent verification of sustainability have bias in climate data. AI models rely on data to make climate predictions and suggest solutions. But if the data used is biased, incomplete, or outdated, the AI's output can be misleading. This could result in ineffective climate policies or inaccurate forecasts, impacting environmental planning and decision making. To ensure reliability, AI systems should be trained on diverse, high quality data sets, and their predictions should be cross checked with the scientific experts. So basically, if the models are going to be given limited amount of knowledge, as AI is just solely based on purpose as well. And whereas there are also companies who just ignore it's just a mistake from their sides that happens, that AI is not properly trained, I might say, and that so that's why due to limited knowledge they end up giving less predictions which are not accurate enough, and that can really harm our environment and sustainability goals and stuff like that. So for that, we should make sure that we are using proper AIs for especially quality date sheets and predictions that we're making about the environment, for example, any other things. Yeah. And then they should be cross-checked by human knowledge as well, because that's very important, because AI can be wrong at some times as well. Lastly, I would just like to conclude my part of the presentation by saying an important message that climate change is an urgent issue that cannot be ignored. AI has the potential to drive meaningful change, improving efficiency while addressing environmental challenges. However, it is a crucial balance to balance AI's benefits with awareness of its risks. Now is the time to take action. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
Javeria, can I add something else in the conclusion?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, so after viewing all the solutions that we stand to gain from AI, and after analyzing all its drawbacks, we see that there's a need for a balanced approach. So AI offers powerful tools to combat climate change, like optimizing energy use, improving climate predictions, and monitoring environmental changes. However, as Javeria just said, it comes with high energy demands, ethical concerns, and risks of misuse. So instead of just rejecting AI due to its drawbacks, the focus should be on maximizing its benefits while actively mitigating its negative impacts. So we should go for a more balanced approach, where we should also try to keep a more sustainable AI model that will not exactly add to damage our environment, but instead it will make it much more better. So this way we can just make it more sustainable, and it will help to make it much more better. Okay, now we can move to the Q&A session. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat box.
Thank you so much. I am you explaining it so good. How can anyone can have any questions? It was perfect. I really like how balanced was your presentation. Like, okay, this is all the good things, or many of the good things that we can have with AI, but also not forget what can go wrong, and this anticipatory thinking that you put here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was our first time, so we were pretty nervous as well, but it turned out to be pretty fun, and it was a really nice session.
I totally agree with Zainab.
We also looked at some other sessions as well. We just watched them, and everyone was doing so well. So it was fun just doing this session as well after that.
I couldn't tell that it was your first session, so now you are like pro. You can do it every time, like Sadilla. Now you are like Sadilla. Go ahead, yes, please.
So the question that I get asked a lot if I'm presenting or speaking to someone about, my topic of expertise, the question that I get a lot is, how do we find the balance? I know you guys spoke about finding a balance and, finding a way to balance out the goods and the bads, and in your words, a balanced approach. In your mind, what ideas do you maybe have on how we can maybe have this balanced approach?
Okay, so we would go towards sustainable AI development, where it will lead to more using renewable energy more often, and like powered AI driven centers with solar, wind, or like hydroelectric energy, thermal power stations, since that will lead to a more renewable energy resources as well, instead of making it with carbon imprints. So it can also like develop energy efficient models, and it will really help to keep it sustainable. And like, oh, okay, and another important thing is that instead of just letting AI run everything, there's an important need for human collaboration as well, like with humans overseeing what's going on and giving clear-cut instructions as well. And they can also supervise and ensure that nothing's getting too out of hand, that everything's still sustainable, and that way we can reduce the carbon imprints.
Any other question in the room? I see. Okay. Did you know about futures thinking before? I'm curious.
About Teach the Future?
Future is the organization, and futures
Yeah.
thinking is what you just did. It's thinking about the future in a systematic way. Have you heard of it before, like as a topic that you could explore, like to learn more about the future?
Yeah, actually we have like sometimes projects as well in school where we have to just analyze like what we think about the future, what we would want to do, what input we would like to give. And like we've already studied some of that in school as well. Like everything we study in geography is also like relating to climate change in the future and how it's getting worse and worse and how we need to act and then developing ideas and ways that we can combat it. Javeria, would you also like to add something?
Yeah, I would just like to say that, yeah, geography you were right about it. Let me. Am I audible?
Can you repeat it? It was cut, your audio.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying that I agree with Zainab, whatever Zainab said, that our school has played a huge role in making us feel confident while talking about the future, and it has made us like very curious and yeah, just curious about how the future is going to be, which has driven like a passion of me, like also to make an AI model of like AI model myself for social awareness and stuff like that. So yeah, and we also have done Mission Green Global. We are also one of the chapter of Mission Green Global, which is an organization helping to make the environment better place.
Amazing, amazing. It's we all think about the future all the time. Like if we plan for a vacation or we plan to meet with our friends. So we all think about the future. But to think in a systematic way and also in a critical way, this is a skill that we need to practice. And you are definitely practicing it. So congratulations again. Any other comments, if not questions from the audience?
Yeah. Who's the AI expert here? I believe it's Javeria, right?
Oh, yes, definitely.
So, I have a question straying slightly away from the topic of climate change, but still staying on the topic that we have of AI. Um, how do you think policymakers can um, reduce the harm of AI, not in terms of climate change, but other ethical factors, such as internet safety, etc.?
Yeah. So you were just saying that policymakers can like about the social awareness. Like if you can say, for example, there are like a lot of fake videos that are generated these days, which are harmful to the environment, like for mental states of people as well. So for that reason, that's the AI that I'm making. That's a very good question that you raised. Yeah, that's a Tari AI that we're making, that's basically going to detect people's fake videos and that are just generated just to for cyber threatening and stuff like that. So yeah, that's going to help in that, so policymakers can make use of AI to verify if the news is correct or not before like actually believing it.
Wow, please let us know when it's ready? No, right? You are developing it.
No, it's in process, but it will be soon.
Okay, so Sadia, please keep us posted. We want a blog post or we want an interview with you to post it and to let people that this is developing.
Sure.
Actually, Lourdes at Dubai Future Forum,
Yeah.
at the Tech Valley, I think it was called, where people were showcasing their PhD projects, I met with this one young lady who was telling me about her AI detector, where she could detect if a voice was AI or not, or a video was AI or not. So I think that's very similar, Javeria, to what you're doing. I'd love to connect you with the lady that I'm talking about. I think it'd be worthwhile.
Yeah, sure, why not?
This is great point, Sadia. This is also one of the reasons we are connecting globally, because sometimes we are reinventing the wheel. We are working in the same thing in different parts of the world. So if we can connect with each other, learn from each other, and collaborate, it will be a much more joint effort. Thank you, Sadia, for this point.
And just coming back on the topic of, different lines of thinking, different people obviously have diverse methods of thinking, so it's definitely worth it to give it a shot to collaborate with other people. That's really awesome, your project that you're doing. It's really inspiring. And sorry, if I may ask, how old are you again?
I'm 17 years old.
Wow.
I have other teammates as well that I connected through New York Sciences Academy, which is a very globally recognized academy worldwide. So yeah, that's where I connected with her. She's from Ukraine, and the other team member is from USA and China.
Very, very inspiring. Very cool.
Yeah, we have some comments in the chat. Manuela from Chile, she said, it's wonderful that you all have been taught about futures literacy at the school. Maybe not with this with this word, like maybe you didn't know that it was futures literacy, but you will actually put it into practice, these skills, thinking systematically and critically about the future. So it's amazing. Any other comment before we go? Yes. Khadija, what are the biggest misconceptions people have about AI and its futures capabilities from your experience?
Javeria, would you like to answer that since she's the AI expert? She's pretty good
Okay,
with AI.
yeah, I'll just try because everybody has a different perception of AI with them. Yeah, let me read the question. Okay, so I might say that the biggest misconception of people having about AI is that AI always affects in a negative way. Like if I talk about my school friends, like whenever they talk about AI and future, like there was a presentation that they have to give somewhere, and they were like talking about AI's negative impact. Like it was just stated that you have to talk about AI's effects on future, so they were talking about the negative impacts of AI. So I think that's the misconception that many people have, that AI is going to always have a negative impact on future. Whereas I believe that AI is not always going to have a negative impact; it's also going to have a positive impact. For example, if we see Chat GPT has like led to cheating of for students in many exams and stuff like that, but it has also helped students to take advantage of it and help to prepare themselves. I personally have used it for my for making past papers for English O levels exams, because you don't have any available over there. So yeah, I think that's the biggest misconception that people have about AI and its future compatibilities, that it's always going to affect it. It's always going to affect in a negative way. If you would like to.
Another huge misconception that people have is that AI is just going to take over all their jobs and everything. But I personally feel like AI can't exactly just completely replace humans, because we all play a really important part. And for that, it's basically us who control AI. So this is something we should keep in mind as well. And yeah, and especially like about AI replacing teachers, that's also something people are really concerned about. But I feel like that's pretty, um, yeah, that really depends on what people think, because AI can actually just help them. It can aid people, but it can't completely change what
Yeah, I would
teachers,
just like to add one
the
point
role
over
that
here.
teachers play.
We just discussed
Yeah.
it in our PPT as well, like present the ones who are going to train. So in short, it's never going to take our
I
place
think
of job, you can say.
Javaria, can you please repeat that? You were lagging, I think, a bit.
Yeah, okay, sorry. So I was just saying that we discussed in the presentation as well that AI needs training, So yeah, it's never going to take jobs of people. It's just going to, like, change the types of job, you can say, because AI needs to be trained by people at the end of the day. So we are going to need teachers, we are going to need doctors, we are going to need every other like skilled worker.
This is amazing. From the futures literacy point of view, I will suggest that we don't say never or ever because the future is open and many things can happen, but it's not probable that this will happen because we are still, as Zainab also was pointing out, much in control. But we need to be aware, just to be the human part of the equation needs to be there. Thank you.
Another question I have, if I may. I'm sorry, I know I'm asking a lot of questions, but a question for Zena. How much time do you think it will take to reach the point where AI is helping our climate change problems effectively by a noticeable margin?
Okay, so I feel like there's not much time left because there's already like a lot of developments going on, like Google's DeepSeek project, DeepMind project that we just discussed about, where it's already like developing futuristic predictions about climate change and everything. So we're pretty much already at this point. But yeah, moving towards the future, it's pretty close by, but yeah, there's still some time. And for further developments like especially the power plant models and everything, because as Javeri just said, AI needs a lot of training as well. So without accomplishing that training, we can't exactly reach that point right away. So I'd say like give it like 20, 30 years, even 50 a maximum. But yeah, we're reaching there pretty fast.
Okay, Sadia, if there is no more question, I will say, Javeria, Zainab, any last comment from your side?
This session was really interesting. It was really fun having this discussion with you all. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. I really love Teach the Future, and I also hope to come next year as well to present, probably with better preparation as well. But yeah,
Yeah, same. Thank you so much for joining us, whoever like other people did. As I can see few people.
And it's recorded, so many more people will watch your session afterwards. So maybe you will become famous. Who knows?
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having us.
Thank you. Sadia, so you can do the closing.
Yeah, so as we wrap up this inspiring session that we've had, thank you all for being a part of World Futures Day Young Voices 2025. Your perspectives and participation have made this conversation truly meaningful. But the journey doesn't end here. New facilitators and fresh conversations begin at the top of each hour, and you are welcome to stay and continue exploring future possibilities with us. Um, just a few announcements. So, first, Teach the Future will be offering our first FutureWise intro into Futures Literacy Fundamentals online course. We have the Summer Institute for ages 12 to 17 and another course coming this fall for those 18 and older. Pre registration is now open. We'd love to hear about your experience. To share your feedback and receive a certificate of participation, please fill out our survey. I'll share the links all in the chat below um, in a little bit. So, yeah, remember that our intergenerational voice matters in shaping our shared futures. Thank you so much for being part of this global conversation. In a bit, the breakout rooms will close and you'll be sent to the main session to prepare for the next session.
Thank you, Sadia. I want to say that the next session is with the Young Voices Council of Teach the Future and with the OECD. And they are going to be exploring curiosity, the power of why, ask like the word why. And I think it will be pretty interesting. So if you can stay and join, it will be wonderful. Thank you all. and see you in the main room. Bye bye.